I say, this is the most unfortunate series of events. Hey everybody, welcome back to more Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time, we liberated Bareahard. Though, they're not too happy about the liberation part, I don't think. This time, we're going to be exploring around the town. First things first, we're going to take care of 2 of our 3 required things. We might as well take care of all of them. I forget exactly which one it is. So, first things first, we want to go down into Artisan Street and into the Alouette Inn. We'll talk to people. We'll start talking to people here. First, we want to talk to Jalom. There's actually a dessert that goes perfectly with our espresso. Kurt's a big fan of them. She claims just one bite can fill you with bliss. Why don't you try for yourself? We get a fruit parfait recipe. I should by taking to myself. I just finished reading the latest volume of this popular series. Hopefully the next one comes out soon. We'll just give it a read. I'm sure you'll see right away why it's so popular. And we get Gamblerjack 212. And last person we'll talk to is up here with Colette. How's it going, Reen? I'm glad you're looking cheerful, Colette. And packing up, too. Does that mean what I think it means? Yep, it's time for me to jump aboard and help you guys out. Just finishing up sorting everything out right now. Thanks, Colette. We're more than glad to have you helping us out. So I don't exactly see all the sorting I have to do being done by the time you all take off. It'd be weird to fly off without saying goodbye to everyone, too. Would you mind picking me up next time you stop by Bareahard? Not at all. It's time to meet up with everyone else, too. So yes, Colette will be able to recruit as soon as we finish up here. As for Sarah, she is the first person that we have here. First bonding event. And we are not going to be viewing it. For this bonding event, Sarah, in typical Sarah fashion, offers to have Reen take up drinking, which of course he declines. And then she starts reminiscing about her time in the Jaeger. She doesn't really know what brought her to the Corps, but that's kind of what life led to back in Northumbria. It's a war-torn area. Not exactly good. You'd kind of need the money by any means necessary. After Instructor Beatrix, who was the nurse at Thor's, saved her, she became a bracer because Ambria had too much death. And despite not being a great teacher objectively, and I think she even states that, like, hey, I'm not a great teacher, she still taught Class 7 a lot through her actions. So kind of actions speak louder than words, I suppose. And, for example, fighting for what you care for can be a little bit difficult to do. Of course, meeting up with her past in the Corps, not exactly a fun thing for her to do. We have 6 bonding points, and there are actually only... Okay, there's 4 character notes, and 1 thing that is quote-unquote required for something else, so really you only have 1 free one. It's a weird case. So, Alphins. This is the point where we can start getting some bonding events that can lead into the very end of the game with our final bonding event. Again, that is something that we still have a ways to go until that. But this one of the requirements in order to view Alphins is to view her bonding event here. So that is one that is kind of important to do, so I basically say that is required. It isn't really, but we are going to be viewing it. But yeah, just so that you know that. We're all facing tough times, as you know. War certainly taking its toll. It'll be willing to extend the deadline on the final 20,000 mirror for me in light of that. Oh, did you hear? Cause no longer is a part of the war. Poor noble here's been asking for loan extensions for half a year now. Well, it's better than the ones who use the position to avoid paying at all. Not exactly ranking the mirror in here for myself, but I kind of feel sorry for him, so it couldn't hurt to let him off the hook for just a little bit. You're being too soft, lady. We got another order for a chameleon. They want 10 items this time. War's never gonna end, even when the war does. Yeah, I heard about what happened to the Duke. Fair's fair, really. Can't just let someone who put the people of Celtic through hell around free, can we? Nobles are just people in the end. They ain't exempt from Adios' judgment. And if he fooled himself into thinking otherwise, then he had it coming. it is always good to see that, I mean, it's not always important, but just getting to see kind of how people react in the world is always fun. Man, yesterday took you by surprise. Never expected to run into all those tanks. Oh well, stuff like that's kind of common now, so there's no point in dwelling on it. Right now I'm more worried about whether or not we're going to lose customers thanks to whatever went down. I'd argue that maybe you get more customers, honestly. Doesn't seem like the Noble Factor is exactly too popular. George is absolutely determined to have me do a shopping for him. How cruel. Thinking at least give me a time to take a couple ladies out for a celebratory ride, but alas. Dinner like this would be the perfect spot for a ride. Peaceful too, given that the flames of war have finally died down. Be that as it may, this province's troubles are far from over. The Lord's taking under arrest, after all. With all the changes around here, things won't be quiet for quite some time. Guess you're right. We can't stay under the Imperial Army's jurisdiction forever either. It's not like Rufus looks like he'll be back here anytime to take on his father's mantle anytime soon. People of Kreutzen aren't the only ones at a crossroad either. Maybe it's selfish, but I'm still kind of hoping that by the time this war is all over, I'll find my own path too. I think I'm in the same boat. What's that, Mort? Aren't you trying to order me around? Not as such. I just believe that it would be safe for us to return while we can. You can't expect me to return when my order's just about ready, can you? Oh, such stubbornness. I have little interest in what's going on in the world around me. Deuce learned his lesson, and then it's later. Yeah, well, the same thing will happen to him again eventually. Solid as nobles are in the end. Always have been, always will be. I guess. Always good to see the, again, I just love talking to the other people. It is very much not required, and I honestly probably wouldn't recommend you do this either in your own playthroughs, because it is very time-consuming and doesn't really get you anything, but it's just interesting to see how people react to the world. Yesterday was a real surprise for all of us, even the nobles. But that's got nothing to do with us, and we'll be focusing on work as usual. I'm curious how the Brooks trainers go along too, so that's all the more reason to keep at it. Now, there's a very small margin for error when it comes to polishing gems. While my dad let me work on some of our products now, he's still not too happy with how I handle the finishing touches. He always ends up doing them himself. The road to being a pro is tough. I wouldn't know, I am not that into working all that stuff together. I am not a very precise person. As for Fee and her single shoe, we will be viewing the spawning event. Fee, what's going on? Why are you sitting here only wearing one sock? So when my boots came off while I was walking, now my foot kind of hurts. So I'm taking a break. After all those boots have been through, I can't really blame him for giving the ghost like that. Is foot gonna be okay? Let's rest a bit, sure. With the boot fixed up after that, you can just keep walking. Hey, how did you think he doesn't get to the tailor without footwear? Just gonna roll down this hill? Dude, going barefoot is awesome. I don't know what you're complaining about, Breen. Come on. Okay, foot's feeling better now. Off we go. Hold up, Fee. You're not actually planning on walking there with your foot like that, are you? Might as well. Used to this kind of stuff anyway. Well, maybe so, but you still shouldn't be walking around on it like that. What if you step on something sharp on the way? What do you want me to do then? I guess I'll be the gallant knight here. Here we go. What's up? Did it start hurting again? I'm fine. Just kind of amazed, really. I don't think anyone else would have offered a piggyback ride in that situation. Huh? Don't worry about it. In the store we go, my steed. Sorry, but the Pony Express stops here. Upon reaching the tailor, Reen asked him to fix up Fee's shoe for her. They were told it would be a quick process, so they had to look around the store in the meantime. Hey, they got Strikers here. Pretty fond of this brand, aren't you? Sure I am. Seems like they've only had formal wear here, though. Would have been nice for up for buying some new sneakers if they had any. I don't see you prancing around in formal wear on anyway, to be honest. How long have you been a fan? Since you were in Zephyr? Yep, boss bought me a pair for helping out with something. That was the second present he gave me, in fact. Well, what was the first then? The name Clisel. It's the present I'll never let go of either. There's no one else in this world who can give me that after all. How do you feel? Dad welcoming me as a proper member of the Schwarzer family meant the world to me. So yeah, let's keep our appreciation for that close to our hearts. Speaking of things in the past, I was actually reminded of the boss when you were giving me that piggyback ride. Huh? It's the same for me not long after bringing me into Zephyr. Stuff like that's what made him feel like he was actually my real dad. Fee. There's something else I realized too. You remind me of the boss, but you're not actually him in the end. Just like Class 7 isn't the same family that Zephyr was, even though both are important to me. I'm not the same person I was back then either. I don't want to sit around and be protected all the time anymore. Yeah, that's right. We're all in this together, Fee. Supporting each other is the obvious way to go. Yep, and I'm gonna use what I learned from my old family to do just that. Thanks, Reen. Not at all. Took a little more time before their order was ready, so the two wandered the store for a while longer. Once it was, they saw that these shoes were as good as new. We have to level 4 of our link. Very nice. Counterattack, gonna be pretty good as well. I guess and Zephyr are very different families, but they're both important to me. And I'll do whatever it takes to keep my family safe. As for what that does for hers, she realized Class 7 and Zephyr are different kinds of family to her, and resolved to grow strong to support them. I like Fee, and not just because she's a very, very, very strong character, although she is that too. She is incredibly good. Next up, sure. I certainly never expected things to come to this. I wouldn't be so sure, though. After all, consider what Princess Alfred said. Have you heard of Duke Alvarez's current predicament? Lord Rufus remains a major part of the Noble Alliance, so it may be possible for the situation to be reversed. Bark, bark. Thanks, Richard the dog. Bareahard is now under the Imperial Army's to extinction, you say? Oh, idiots, what waking nightmare is this? This simply cannot be real. I heard that Lord Eustace was appointed the acting head of the Bareahard family after the Duke's arrest. What is the meaning of this? Why was he chosen over Lord Rufus? Well, who's the one who controlled Bareahard, you dingus? Why can't you understand, Father? All I wanted to join my schoolmates on the Courageous, which is precisely why I'm opposed. You're a daughter of the nobility. You can't go off gallivanting at a time like this. It's exactly the time to go. If you're so thick-headed, maybe you'd understand that. Thick-headed? How dare you use such language against towards your own father? Like Teresa is busy at the moment. I can try once again once I've met up with the rest of the gang. So, again, just like Colette, keep that in mind. Welcome. I'm not planning on resting today. I can only imagine how exhausted you must be after all that's happened. Allow me to be so bold as to request that you all stay by Lord Eustace's side as much as possible as well. Mother were never on good terms. Having to arrest his own father must have hurt him more than he's letting on. You'd be honored to, sir. If you miss Cold Steel 1, this is Eustace's uncle, his mom's brother is Hammond. Hey, did you hear about the rumor about his majesty being held captive in Arndale? No lines beneath me and all the sort of stuff much. I can totally believe it. Man, can you imagine what a scandal that'd be if it turned out to be true? It would be quite scandalous indeed. The battles may have come to an end, but who knows how business will go from here on out. I was a good friend recently too. Just got back from paying my respects. And the rumors about having decoded true. If so, I'm not entirely sure to be doing business like this after all. Good day. So I will be open for business as usual today. I think this is an opportunity to cast aside your worries and enjoy a fine meal. This is very empty though, I will say. You'd expect a lot more people to be here, but oh well. Recent events have been rather unsettling for us all, as someone music can soothe our customers' woes. We'll always respect that. Personally, I do play a little bit of piano. I am not as good as I would like to be at it. But, I mean, still, it's a very calming thing to do, piano is. I'm actually going to head over to the Bareahard mansion. We're gonna do that right now. Good day. I've said word to let you all pass. Said you Bareahard should be inside at the very moment too. The Bareahard family mansion's currently under our control. I have to say though, it's rather nerve-wracking for us to be stationed in such a noble-dominated area. There's no need for you to be concerned, of course. Our presence won't alarm the citizens as much as the armed divisions would. The size of this place never ceases to amaze me. Both the Duke and Scarlet are being held here, I think. And we will indeed enter.
Damn, this is incredible. It's not as grand as Valflame Palace, but I doubt you'll find many mansions this fancy. The Duke's residence is certainly befitting of his status.
You came after all, Reen.
Yeah, I was kinda hesitant to come and visit in case I got in your way, though.
No, it's fine. Everything is largely settled here now. I will leave the rest to you, then.
As you wish. Leave everything to us, and we will strive and make things as comfortable for your father as possible.
You have my thanks.
He's Captain Claire's adjutant, isn't he?
Indeed, and quite a skilled one at that. He and his men will be managing the mansion together while keeping my father in custody, at least until the war comes to an end.
Oh, right.
There's no need to look so glum. He deserves to answer for his crimes much like others. He should be grateful he hasn't been handcuffed and thrown in a cell.
I guess that's one way of looking at it. Oh, yeah, Scarlet's here too, right?
She's currently receiving treatment in the annex. She remains bedridden, but her life is in no real danger, or so I hear.
That's good.
If you'd like to speak with her, you should go and pay her a visit. Meanwhile, I'll be going to my room to get ready for departure. If you need anything at all, feel free to come by and see me.
Thanks, Eustace. Will do. Wait a sec. Where is his room anyway? I don't know where the Annex Scarlet's in is either. I guess I'll have to ask someone.
And welcome to the Bareahard family mansion. It's not bougie at all.
Oh, hello. Are you looking for Lady Scarlet's room? It's quite far down the corridor on the annex's first floor.
Thanks. How do I get to the annex, though?
Oh, my apologies. Turn left here, then make your way onto the courtyard. There's a path on the right side of the fountain, which if you follow will...
You understand where to go now. That's gonna be a really long walk. We will not do that this time, though. Goodbye to you. Please leave everything here in our hands. His grace is confined to the mansion, but he is permitted a degree of freedom within its walls. Rest assured that the terrorist is being treated with care as well.
Oh, are you looking for your Lord Eustace's room? Please turn to the right here and find it at the very end of the hall on the right wing's third floor.
See, thank you very much. That said, His Grace and Lord Eustace have loud on their minds at present. Please do try to be quiet while inside the mansion, so as not to disturb them needlessly. Or so be as quiet as I possibly can.
My apologies, but His Grace has firmly expressed that he does not want to meet with anyone at the present time. I must ask you to turn back.
Of course, sorry to disturb you. I feel like the Duke really shouldn't have a say in that. He's a prisoner after all. We are going to go into Eustace's room. However, we actually are not going to be viewing his bonding event. Weirdly enough, this is not one that has a character note. It's a copy for Car Magazine calling Imperial Car yearly here. This thing has so many new models in it. This car might actually work well on the bike, come to think of it. And we get the windy coloring. Eustace's bonding event. The two will, they go out on their horse races, they go back onto Aurochs Canyon and have another duel. And Eustace's quote-unquote honesty in his sword-fighting style might lead him to hesitate against Rufus. So, Eustace wants to basically be like, hey, I want to get all of this out, I want to basically, get all that behind me. So have a duel.
Right.
Reen obliges, and the two fight, and ends up in a draw. And even though Rufus did initially teach Eustace how to fight, it was Class 7 that honed his skills, and they have fun, and they laugh about it. Eustace actually not acting like a douchebag. Go figure. But that will be it for this time. Next time we are going to head into the Annex, talk to Scarlet, and we'll continue exploring around Bareahard. But until then, see you guys later.